Good morning, this is day 2 of the Canopy build. Hopefully there'll only be 3 days of this, because so far I think they've done very well. Yesterday was extremely oppressive, the heat. I got very hot just standing around watching these people. Excuse me. I don't really know how they manage to work all day in the heat, but they do. And for the most part they're covered up as well to protect them from the sun, so I would imagine that makes them even hotter. Last night we had a huge storm, the remains of which you can see on the driveway there, where the drainage isn't so good. And we've had a couple of big storms in the last few days, and I'm very pleased to say that my strengthened guttering is holding up very well. Now, the pipe at the end there was the blue pipe had a few sticks in it, so that was restricting the flow a little bit, but there's been no deformation of the guttering now since I strengthened it with wire, and where I've done the work is really invisible. You're going to struggle to see it unless you look very closely, so I'm very pleased with that job because I feel like I've got a secure drainage system there now. Anyway, my job before the lads arrive this morning is to refit this blue pipe. Now you can see the run of the pipe there. Let me just go to. You can see the run of the pipe there is actually quite close to the post. Now that's not really a big problem, except that it won't really be covered by very much in the way of stones, and because the pad is quite wide, it's not going to drop down underneath the stone level for a little while after the pad. So I don't really want that. I'd prefer it if it was 5 centimetres below the surface, really, just to make sure that we don't get any problems with, say, a vehicle like a heavy motorbike or something driving over it, and because it's in stones or the stones on top of it, damaging it basically. So I've bought some extra joints and I've got this bit of odd pipe lying here from the old house, and I'm going to put some extra bends in it and take it around the side of the pad a bit deeper, and actually laying on sand as well, so hopefully I'll be able to refit that in the next 30 minutes and all's good. Get the stones back in place before the lads arrive. Right, that's that done. So I opted to go for 45-degree bends just here rather than 290s, just to make the flow of water a little bit easier. That should be alright. It should bury quite well, be quite safe. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get stones rolled back and tidy it all up. Just leave a little bit around the post so we can paint the post and the base when the whole job's done. Yes, good. Okay, so had a little further discussion with them because they still want to put a second layer of concrete in around the post, which I thought wasn't necessary because I could just cover the area with stones. But I thought about it, and of course that plate that the post is mounted on and is it's bolted to a frame which goes in the concrete, but part of the frame is actually exposed above the level of the current concrete pad, so that's probably going to be quite vulnerable to rust, and consequently it will make the whole thing very unstable very quickly, I think in a matter of a few years. So I've agreed with their plan. So yet again they've got a good plan. They're going to fill that area up with concrete and make sure that it flows underneath the post, yeah, it doesn't matter if we have an extra bit sticking out like that. We had that with the extension room as well. Doesn't really detract from anything. But of course what I'm doing is I'm sort of querying things as I go along because I don't understand what they're doing and they can't tell me very easily. So the odd things I do query I get into a bit of a pickle with, because I'm sort of saying, no, can we do this, and then I realise that what they're saying is correct. But I don't want to leave them entirely to their own devices, because it's just a checking function I'm doing really, just to make sure there's nothing that's really against what I have intended to achieve. Right, let's see what they're doing. They are adding uprights to the two main cross members. It's all welding now, isn't it, really? They've just got to weld everything onto the roof to get the slope, and then the roof panels go on top. And a little bit of extra concreting. So that's good. Yes, well, I started to dig out a big stone for the garden project, and these guys decided to help me, and now they're on the second one, which is absolutely huge, but will go very nicely. And at the same time, we've got another delivery. I believe the steel and the shearer board are going to be ours. So this is the little garden project. A sort of Arizona desert style rocky outcrop with the plants dotted around, the cactus blowing in the wind. Oh, it's amazing what these guys can do. I would never have actually tried to move that one on my own. So that's a couple done. So that's coming along a bit nicely. I hope you're paying attention, American in Thailand, up in Sika. This is how it's done, mate, and I'm not going to paint these rocks. So it looks like I've got another bill to pay. I've got this steel. They've also got a new cutter for the machine there. So I've still got a lot of cutting to do. So they've welded these long bits. I think they've got a couple more to do. These are going to be the ones that go across. They're about 7.3 metres long, those. So they'll be going across. And the steel that's just turned up will be going the other way, of course. Oh, I noticed this morning that when I came and stood by this tree, when I first came out, that a bird made a bit of a noise and flew off, and then later on the same thing happened, and I've just realised, I've just spotted a tiny little nest in there. Tiny little nest with 2 eggs. The poor bird hasn't been sitting on them all morning, so I think we're ruining the chances of that family starting. And I can see birds hanging around. Oh dear, this building work has disturbed 2 lots by the looks of things. One in the tree and one at the back of the garage. Right, well, we're after lunch and they've got down to the last crossbeam. Now they're spraying the joints. We're just waiting on the roof being delivered, but I know they'll want to do the fascia board at the front. So maybe they'll do that this afternoon while they're waiting for the roof to be delivered and finish the job tomorrow. So I've just been away for a couple of hours just to get some dinner and do some shopping. Not even 2 hours actually. And they're ready for the roof panels, but they haven't turned up yet. They've been ordered, but they haven't turned up. They're apparently going to be delivered tomorrow. So these guys are tidying up and twiddling their thumbs for a bit. But it all looks very good to me. They've got all the trim on around the edges. So literally the only thing to do is to fix the roof panels on. So there'll be a couple of them up there doing the screwing down of the roof panels. So it shouldn't take me very long to get the job finished, and then I can do the painting at my leisure. Yes, I think it might be beer o'clock now.